you said on a text off the record that you wanted to say something about Russell Wilson. Because I gotta tell you, Steve. First off, I'm a huge Russell Wilson fan. He's my favorite player of all time in the NFL. Just for the record. I'm just stunned that in the span of 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, that a simple comment on Dan Patrick's show, in an interview, has gained some legs. A simple comment about wanting some more input. It wasn't even so much him demanding it, just him saying that, I like to have more input on personnel decisions because I'm the quarterback, and which, by the way, I agree with him on. And now we're here at a point where we're hearing just the idea of what if X teams could be trading for him or interested in him, which of course Russell Wilson would be top 5 quarterback in the league, obviously, so you should be interested in a guy like that.
Sure.
Look, I'm of the opinion, I've said this on my show already, like numerous times the last couple of weeks, I think will be in Seattle week 1 for the start of 2021 season. Mm-hmm. But I think this situation is very fluid. And I think if Seattle implodes next year, that the reality of him leaving that team may actually come to pass, say, next year, especially with Pete Carroll. And I think Pete Carroll's gotten stale there, honestly, in Seattle. What says you?
Okay, so I'm going to take a moment here.
Go right ahead, brother.
This situation between Seattle and Russell Wilson is untenable. It is unfixable. It is done. That is a train wreck. Okay, I want to equate the relationship between the Seattle Seahawks organization and Russell Wilson to your relationship with your wife, my relationship with my girlfriend, and all of your listeners and viewers and their relationship with their significant others. I'm really happy in our relationship. We're doing great things. We got you and your wife have a couple of kids, and you're fantastic. You got some trophies there, and that's fantastic. Me and my girlfriend, we love each other to death. We're doing really good. But every relationship is work. Every relationship is time. Time is money. What is your time worth? So imagine you and your wife are having some issues. You're having some personality issues, some financial issues. Maybe you're having whatever the issue might be. You don't want to leave your wife. You're not going to leave your wife. But imagine if you came home with some representative, some agent of yours, and your agent, your friend, maybe a friend of both you and your wife, and this person presented your wife with, well, you and EJ are doing really great together, and we love you guys together, but if he were to leave you, we want to give you a list of 4 women that he'd like to spend time with.
I like the analogy.
Okay?
Yeah.
Your wife's walking out the door. She's out. Because not only are you making plans, but you're telling her where you want to go, where you want to be, should this situation not resolve itself. So if I'm Seattle, okay, the situation is now unresolved. You're out. I would find the most willing candidate for Russell Wilson, and I'd be done with him tomorrow. Because it's completely ridiculous. Okay, you know what, honey? Me and Naomi, Naomi, I think you're great. I think it's fantastic. You and I have spent a lot of time together. But you know what? If I were to cheat on you, these are the 4 women that I'm going to do with. And I'm going to make it 4 women who you know, who you work with, and who you know everything about their business and their lives.
Let me ask you this. Who's the bad guy here in this?
Russell Wilson. No question.
Okay.
Russell Wilson's the bad guy because Russell Wilson took the bait on a Dan Patrick question. He took the bait. He ran with it. He knew what he was doing, and now he's made it worse.
But does he have a point though?
Yes, but you can be a bad guy and still have a point. Sure, he's got a point. You can have a valid point and still be a bad guy. The fact of the matter is, these are discussions that should take place outside the guise of the Dan Patrick show. These are conversations that happen within the organization.
I feel like Dan Patrick being a phenomenal interviewer, which by the way, I just,
He knew what he was doing. Dan Patrick knew exactly.
He baited him. He debated him into that, and he cornered him. And I was listening to the interview, and I was like, this is Dan Patrick's genius here, cornering Wilson.
Yeah.
And Russ took the bait. And
then his agent just made it worse. Now, would he do well in Seattle? In Dallas? Would he do well in Dallas? Sure he would. Would he do well in Chicago? Sure he would. Would he do well
in Dallas? He's a Super Bowl contender immediately with him there.
Right. mean, I'm sorry, Dallas Cowboys fans, I'm going to say this. It's a far cry better than Dak Prescott, and he's got a lot less.
Not even question, Mark. Not even question.
Okay. So is he better in Chicago? Are they a better team? Absolutely. Are the New Orleans Saints a better team? Debatable, because I don't know if Drew Brees is really going to retire.
Brees is done, though. I mean, Drew Brees is no longer.
Yes, he's done, right. But, I don't know if he's really going to be, I don't know if he's got it in his head that he's done. Like, it's that situation of the guy who sticks around for 1 year too long, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm the Seahawks, I want him out because I don't need that cancer in my locker room for an entire 2021 season. I don't need it, and I don't want it. And if I'm Pete Carroll, who is as cutthroat a coach as you could imagine.
You're a USC guy. You should know this.
Yes. Okay. And he should not and should never be trusted within an inch of his life because he's a lying scoundrel.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Love to the championship teams, but that whole, I didn't know what was happening at USC a day before he decided.
Wink.
USC. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm Pete Carroll, I want him out. I want him off my team immediately.
Well, the only motivation I would say to get rid of Wilson at this point is his value may not be higher than it is right now.
See, and I don't even know about that. Like, okay, and maybe, in week 8 of last season, everyone was talking about him as the MVP, and then his production tailed off.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Every quarterback's production tails off at certain points in the season, right? Or it picks up at certain points.
But there's no question he's a top 5 quarterback in the league right now as you sit right here in this interview.
Top 5? Top 10.
Easily.
Top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and then that's a whole other debate there.
It's a fan-based argument. You know me.
Right.
Like, Josh Allen's better.
Really?
Josh Allen's better. Oh, yeah.
If I see one more year of Josh Allen, they did this. If he does, we did last year again next year. I'm willing to say that.
Josh Allen's better, I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Brady's in that thing, but Brady wins games. So, but I mean, there's better quarterbacks. But what Russell Wilson does, again, this goes back to the Deshaun Watson discussion.
Right.
What Russell Wilson does bring is credibility.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine him in Chicago, how much more credible they are.
Shoot.
Imagine him in Dallas, how much more credible they are. I think that's what Russell Wilson brings, is he brings that air of credibility, like, okay, he's our anchor, right? Because Dak Prescott's never been the anchor. Mitch Trubisky, God help him, has never been the anchor. So he's the anchor. He's going to bring that to your organization. So right. I think to that end, that's where I look at the Russell Wilson story, and I think for him, again, give me a guy with a chip on his shoulder. Again, whether it's valid or not. Again, this goes to your question earlier. Is he the bad guy? Yes, he's the bad guy, but he's got a point. He has never had help around him. How many times have we watched as Russell Wilson runs around behind the line of scrimmage like a chicken with his head cut off because he has no offensive line in front of him? He's got basically a Band-Aid in front of him trying to protect him from defenses that are trying to kill him. Oh, and now, by the way, just add J.J. Watt to that equation of defenses that are going to be going after Russell Wilson in Seattle.
Yeah, J.J. Watt, Nick Bosa,
Chandler Jones,
Aaron Donald.
Right.
Who else?
Chandler Jones, the other guy.
Chandler Jones. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
So if I'm Russell Wilson, the J.J. Watt trade, that just made my decision to leave Seattle so much easier right now. Otherwise, I don't get to get killed by J.J. Watt twice a year.
So basically, what you're saying here to me is that it's an unfixable situation at this point,
yes,
right?
It's completely unfixable. Imagine saying these things to your wife. Where's that relationship going? It's going down the toilet.
No, you made a good case.
Relationships are business. Relationships require effort. They require time. They are work. This is a relationship, and this relationship is over.